channel. Since Christmas is over, but it's not yet January, we still have time to sit down and make those last minute goals and try and make 2025 a better year. I feel like we always start out with such high hopes for that. And, you know, it never seems to pan out that way. But, you know, that's not the attitude that we should go into next year with. So let's forget I said that. Next year is going to be a great year. We can do this. So before I get into what I'll be talking about today, please like and subscribe because it will make me happy inside. But anyway, today I'm going to be talking about my 5-step approach to goal setting. We want to make 2025 a good year. We have to have an idea of what that even means. Step 1, and this is sometimes the hardest part of the whole thing, is figuring out what you even want. There are lots of ideas bouncing around in there, and I'm sure you have that as well. Take a few minutes and write down all the things you want to do next year, and don't filter it. Don't be like, oh, I can't do that. Even if it's like, I want to move to Italy and you don't have any money right now, that's fine. You'll figure it out. But write down the things you want to do, all the things. Like, don't stop until your head is empty. And that brings us to step 2, which is a reality check. Now you've written down all the things, impossible or otherwise, that you want to do. Eliminate the ones that you can't do, right? You can only do like 9 to 10 things next year, most likely, if they're big enough goals. Even if they're habits, like 9 to 10 things is a little less than 1 a month, which is enough time to establish a habit or make progress towards a longer term goal. So you want to take that big list that you have and filter out the ones that are most important that you really, really, really want to get done next year. And weed it down to 9 to 10 things that you can realistically get done. And do not like delete the other ones. I don't know if you physically wrote this down or if you just typed it in somewhere. Don't delete those because those are still things that you want to do. And you should put them on like a someday or like eventually list. And I mean, there is something to be said for like, if you forget about it, was it really that important? I mean, if you wrote down like, I want a pet llama and you live in New York City, then maybe delete that one. But most of your ideas, you know what, all of your ideas are important. So whatever's important to you, you keep it and you put it on an eventually list. And if you never remember to look at that list again, then yes, those ideas might just be gone. But when you're 70 and you find that list, you will laugh because you wanted a llama. And it will be worth it. So don't get rid of it. Just keep those ideas on the back burner, but weed the main ones down to like 9 or 10. Step number 3 is to set deadlines for these goals. Figure out when you want to accomplish any long-term goals and when exactly you're going to do any habit goals, because there are like 2 different types of goals, right? Like if your goal is I want to walk around the block every day, like you don't want to set a deadline for that. That's something that you're going to want to do probably for the rest of your life. That's good for you. You should do that. If your goal is, you know, make this much money next year, that's obviously going to be like, you know, in December sometime probably, unless, you know, you're setting them incrementally, which is also a good idea. Which brings me to my next point, which is you don't want to set all of the goals for like December 31st. Like, yes, these are your goals for 2025. You know that going in, but you do not want to find yourself in December and you haven't made progress on any of them. And because I mean, if you set the deadline for that far in advance, you will procrastinate unless you are a very disciplined person. It's up to you to know yourself, but I would procrastinate. Most people I feel like would procrastinate. So try to spread them out throughout the year, especially if they're habit goals. Do not be like, I want to establish all these 10 habits in December, by December. Like, no, figure out like a realistic deadline for each of them that you can get them done incrementally throughout the year. You will thank me for that. Just don't set yourself up for overwhelm in December. December's already busy with Christmas and all the things. So don't make it worse. And now that that's done, essentially you do have goals for 2025, right? But step 4 is to think about why you want to accomplish each of the 9 to 10 things that you have on your list for 2025. There are going to be times when you feel like quitting. There are going to be times when you are nowhere near your goal and you think it's impossible and you just want to be like, oh, well, no, I'll just try again next year. And that's not good. Like, trying is always better than not trying. You're always gonna do more if you try than if you don't try. That sounds obvious, but I think people still need to hear it. You always should make an effort. Otherwise, you're not gonna do anything. You can't do anything without trying to do something. Even if you don't think you're gonna hit your goal, you should keep pushing because you'll get closer to it. And your reason why you're doing it is a big part of motivating yourself to keep going when that happens. So take a minute, think about a really good reason why you want to do this thing, why you want to accomplish this goal, and write it down. And you can look at it when you feel like quitting next year, because it is going to happen. You do want to accomplish this, and sometimes you're going to need to remind yourself why you want to accomplish this. So write down your reasons for each of those 9 to 10 goals that you set, where you'll be able to look at it next year when you feel like quitting. And if you can't think of a good enough reason, or like you're thinking up reasons and you're like, I actually don't think I want to do this, like there's not a deep, well, it doesn't have to be a deep reason, but there's not like a good enough reason. This reasoning is not going to motivate me when I want to quit. Then maybe you don't actually want to do it. You can feel free to eliminate things at this point and then go back to your eventually list and sub in a new goal. And then just repeat from step 2. Then you can think up a better reason for why you want to do that one. Because if you're not really that motivated to do it, if you want to like learn Italian because your friend did and you want to one-up them, I don't think that's going to keep you going when you want to quit. Maybe it will be for you. That's fine if it's motivating for you, but it wouldn't work for me. So step 5 is optional, but if you are a person who likes to plan, then sit down and plan out how you're going to hit that goal. This honestly is probably useful for people who don't like to plan also, but I am undiagnosed but pretty sure I have ADHD, and we are not good at the planning most of the time. So I get it if you don't want to sit down and map out a plan. It is also important to be adaptable with this, so don't write like such a rigid plan that any deviation is going to make you not accomplish that goal. Flexibility is key to being able to reach your goals. Like, things are going to change next year. Unexpected commitments are going to come up. So you don't want to make such a set in stone plan that one little thing is going to just completely throw a wrench in it, right? So make a vague plan, very like big picture plan as to how you're going to get to that goal and when you need to accomplish like some of the major milestones by. Or, I mean, you can get more detailed if you want, but I definitely would recommend keeping it a little vague because changes are definitely going to come up next year. So yeah, that is my basic 5-step plan to setting goals. This is basically how I go about it. I'm not saying I'm the most amazing at hitting my goals either, but I think they're good tips anyway. And I hope you guys have fun setting your goals for 2025. Sometimes it's fun just setting them, even if you don't hit them, like, or you forget about them. It's kind of fun to look back and be like, oh yeah, I kind of wanted to do that for a while and I got this far. You're gonna make some progress, like just by doing this exercise. So don't be too hard on yourself, but also hopefully this helps you to hit your goals. Feel free to tell me in the comments what your goals are if you feel like sharing, or like this video or subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on future ones. And yeah, thank you for watching. I'll see you next week.